For the first time in almost 4 months, I felt like the whole world was twisting. Who was it? Who had changed the world mind? I didn't do anything. I hadn't interfered with the world. So why was the world doing this to me? Oh. Are we in the future? I opened my eyes. Things had already taking on different colors. The world kept wavering until, once again, it became fixed to a single point in time. I wasn't looking at a warm, cheerful party in the lab anymore. I was outside. It was raining. The rain was falling on my face, and drops so large that it hurt. It was a midwinter rain. It was freezing cold, and I could feel it sapping the strength from my body. Ooh. You know, I kind of like the color scheme of the future scenes in Steins games. If this is a future scene, I really like the, color scheme that it has. I don't know why, but the backgrounds of the World War III scenes in Steins Gate Zero are really cool. Like, just the way they draw them is really cool, like the ruins. The way they draw ruins is really cool. My view stopped twisting. I was staring at the broad back of a man I didn't know. I could hear the sound of many boots stamping through the mud, mingling with falling rain. The stench was terrible. The smell of sewage was so strong it hurt to breathe, and it was mixed with the awful smell of burning rubber and plastic. Where was I? What was I doing right now? Things around me had changed so much. I tried to understand the situation I was in, but my brain was having an awful time keeping up.
もう少しです。頑張って。
When I stopped, a rough hand patted me on the shoulder, encouragingly. I looked around to see a man my age, with a strong, powerful face. It was a face I'd never seen. I didn't know him. Probably. The man was wearing the camo outfit and equipment I'd often seen the self-defense force wear on the news. He was carrying an assault rifle on his shoulder. There were 7 or 8 people around me, all dressed the same. Oh, this song's awesome! I think I know this song. I think I remember this song. Oh, actually hearing it in the game. Oh my god. I'm really enjoying how I'm actually hearing this in the game for the first time. Oh my god. Yes, I know the song. I know the song. I used it in the Suza Hates Less Comedians videos. Yes, this is the song! This is the song I played during the Suza Hates Less Comedian video. Oh my god, I love this song. Oh my god, this is one of my favorite soundtracks of Steins Gate Zero. Oh my god, I'm really happy that I'm actually hearing it in the game. Woohoo! Wow! They surrounded me in a circular formation and walked forward silently as they kept a careful eye on the area around them.
この人たちは自衛隊員?
Oh, this song is so fitting. This song is so fitting for the scene. And hold up. Yes! This is the song! This is the song! Oh my god. Yes, this is the Suzuha Hates Less Comedian song. So this is where it comes from in the game. Yes, this is where the song comes from in the game. Perfect scene. Perfect scene for this song. I'm sorry for that. I'm sorry for that. And then I realized I was wearing the same camo uniform they were.
俺が自衛隊員だって?
I touched my bicep to check, but there was no muscle. It was flabby and weak. Unlike the others, I wasn't carrying any weapons. Then what was going on here? It felt like these 7 or 8 tough-looking SDF guys were all guarding me. Since when was I that important? Still confused, I dragged myself onward. Where was I, anyway? It was a long path filled with dark brown mud. The walls formed a tall silhouette to the left and right. The path was filled with garbage and concrete rubble, and sometimes we had to force our way past it. I looked up past the high walls. Despite the rain, the moon in the night sky was strangely red and a little too bright. It was thanks to the moon that we were able to walk down a path like this without flashlights. Sound. I heard a sound. It was the sound of water. I looked over and saw a hole opened in one of the walls. Filthy water was pouring out. The water formed dozens of little rivers that blocked our path. So that was it. This was the bottom of a river that had dried up. What looked like high walls were the river dikes.
ここってどの辺なんです？
I turned toward the man who had spoken to me a bit ago and yelled so that my voice could be heard over the rain.
大きな声を出さないで。すみません。あと少しで都心を抜けます。練馬駐屯地の近くまで行けば車が用意されているはずですから、そこまで何とか出てください。
But his words cut off there. Everyone seemed more tense than ever. One of them grabbed me and pushed me toward the side of the riverbed. Everyone put their backs against the wall and held their breath. I could hear the sound of a helicopter's rotors in the distance. No, more than just one. They were getting closer. I had no idea what was going on, but I could feel my heart start to beat faster.
あの車の陰に入って。
Past several meters of rubble lay an overturned car. It must have fallen into the riverbed after the water had disappeared. The entire body was bent inward, and the roof was completely crushed. I lay down in the sinking mud and slid into the shadow of the overturned car. At the same time, the SDF soldiers were issuing each other orders, as if this was something they'd planned for already. 2 of them stayed by my side, and everyone else ran back the way we'd come. They all climbed up the crevices and outcroppings on the wall, then disappeared over the edge of the dike and out of my view. Shortly after... Whoa! Gunfire. Those were gunshots. And not just a single shot from a handgun or anything like that. This was the sound of war. I could hear the helicopters get further away, drawn by the gunfire.
なんてことだ。
And this world line was Japan at war? The Third World War. I remember Suzaha's words. I happened to look inside the crushed car. Bodies. I could see the corpses of a man, a woman, and a small child hanging upside down, still attached to their seatbelts. They were all covered in dried black blood. They looked like mannequins at a bad haunted house. Damn. And then I realized. I had been so focused on moving forward that I hadn't noticed what they were, but I'd seen similar mannequins sunk into the mud. I could see their arms, the bones and ragged muscle exposed to the air, reaching up to the sky, as if seeking salvation. I put my hand over my mouth to stifle a scream. Those weren't mannequins!
今です。壁に沿って進んで。ルートを変えます。さあ、立ってください。
He pulled me up. My knees were shaking from shock and exhaustion.
仲間がソ連のヘリ部隊を引きつけてますが、それほど持ちません。早く。
Soviet? What? Hold on! What? The others are drawing away the Soviet helicopters? This doesn't make sense! Didn't the Soviet Union disband in 1991 or something? In this warline, did the Soviet Union not collapse? What? The others are drawing away the Soviet helicopters. Steins Gate took place in 2010, and if this is the future, this is past 2010. 20 years after 1991. Is this a timeline where the Soviet Union didn't fall?
ソ連?
My mind was dulled from the terror, but it seemed like there was something off about what he just said.
しっかりしてください。あなたを守るためにすでに何人犠牲になったと思っているんですか。俺を守る。なぜ？
Oh shit.
理由は聞かされていません。でも命を懸けて守れと自分は命じられています。それがこの国の未来につながるのだと。
A helicopter passed over the riverbed. The bright searchlight passed by for a moment, but thankfully, the shadow of the dike hit us.
こっちへ。
The young SDF soldier, whose name I didn't even know, pulled me inside one of the holes in the concrete. When I looked closely, I could see that it was the entrance to a sewer. It was just big enough for a single person to pass through. Struggling against the flow of water that came up to my knees, I pressed on through the darkness. My sense of smell had already gone numb, so I didn't have to worry about the stench of the sewage. Once inside, we came to several branching paths. The SDF soldiers seemed to know which one would lead where, and they marched on without hesitation. And then we came out of the sewer and back into our riverbed. It's the same riverbed. It's the exact same riverbed. It was dried up, just like the one we'd just been through. I didn't know if it was the same river or another one, and the two soldiers didn't tell me. Either way, I was glad to be finally out of the foul-smelling darkness, and I tried to take a deep breath and fill my lungs with fresh air. But halfway through, I realized that the riverbed smelled even worse than the sewer. I took an involuntary step back, and then another. The sight in front of me was just that terrible. What was once a riverbed was now filled with bodies. Some of them had been burnt totally black, so it was impossible to tell how much death lay before me. And in the distance, I could see what looked like bonfires. They were burning despite the rain. The fires were consuming the mountains of flesh that once were human bodies.
もうすぐです。きついでしょうが、走れますか？
The SDF soldier spoke to me, and then I came back to my senses. If it weren't for these two, I wouldn't have been able to stay sane. We ran through the riverbed, one of them in front of me, the other behind. I could hear the constant drone of the helicopters above me. Sometimes the searchlights got very close. Each time they did, I hid in the piles of bodies until they passed. I'd seen this many times before as I'd wandered through the world lines. Piles of bodies? Oh, death. I'd seen that. Yeah, okay. I was wondering if you have actually seen piles of bodies just yet, because this is not the world line where you're brought to 2036. I'm suspecting that this is before 2036, but long after 2011. Huh. Interesting. Oh. I'd seen the moments when people had died. But at the same time, I never experienced what happened to a dead person after they were left out for a long time. More than fear, more than sorrow, the thing that hit me first was the smell of death. The rotting stench ate away at my body, not my soul. My whole body was rejecting it. It made me feel sick. Thinking that way meant trampling on the dignity of the dead, but I couldn't help it. The Valley of Hinam. I remembered that phrase. That was what that strange attacker had said that night, when they came after Dr. Leskinen, Maho, and me. That valley was the origin of the word Gehenna, meaning hell. It was said that flames burned there every night, scorching the heavens themselves. Those who died merciless deaths with anger or misery in their hearts were flung into the flames, their souls becoming black smoke that rained hatred down on the land. What I stared at now was Gehenna. Damn. Whoa! Whoa! Oh man! I don't know why, but I really enjoy the art for these scenes. I how cool it looks! This fucking looks cool! Like, I like the color schemes and the slightly realistic drawings. Holy crap! I don't know why, but I really enjoy seeing just the background art style of the war scenes of Steins Gate Zero. I don't know why I like these, but these look really cool. The two soldiers led me to a half-collapsed subway tunnel. The lights were all off because there was no electricity, but there were 3 armored cars in camo colors, with their headlights on to illuminate the way. There were 4-wheel drive, off-road vehicles covered in thick chunks of armor, but I didn't see any real weapons.
ここから地下鉄内を通って埼玉へ抜けられます。入間基地はまだ無事と聞いています。そこまで行けば関東を脱出できるはずです。
Iruma Base. One of the air self-defense... let me repeat what I was going to say. Wow, I mispronounced that sentence. One of the Air Self-Defense Force's largest bases, located between Iruma and Shimoyama cities in Saitama Prefecture. It's home to 18 units and around 4,300 personnel, and is also the location of the Air Defense Command Headquarters Flight Group, Iruma Base. Sorry that I really messed up the beginning of that tip.
関東脱出
話は向こうで聞いてください。とにかく急いで。
There were a lot of things I wanted to ask, but even as we spoke, I heard what sounded like gunshots outside the tunnel. The men forced me into the back seat of one of the cars.
それではご無事を祈っております。
あなた方は
自分たちには別の任務がありますので。では。
The 2 soldiers who had brought me here saluted, then turned around and left the station. I felt like I was never going to see them again. The door of the armored car slammed shut with a heavy thud. The car's crew were SDF soldiers, just a little older than me. Damn. Whoa! Whoa! Oh, that's cool! That's cool! The car's shaking! The diesel engine kicked to life, and the car raced down a tunnel that had originally been designed for trains. Of course, it wasn't a pleasant ride at all, but I didn't have any choice. There was no way I could tell them I wanted to go to Akihabara. I had no way to alter the world line. I had to survive in this hellish world. And to survive, I needed to do what they said. My wants didn't matter at all. I wasn't even allowed to express them. I just did as they told me and ran. It was all I could do. But I had no idea that it would take an entire month. Wait, he was in the car for an entire month? Whoa. Okay. Anonymous at Security Console. The story so far. The USSR starts experimenting with a time machine and America goes apeshit. Okay. I'm just weirded out by the whole fact that the USSR is in 2010. Wait a second. Oh! 2010! This is an alternative world line then. What? Wait, hold on. What? This is weird. Huh, so the Soviet Union is developing time machines, and in this alternative world line, World War III has already begun in 2010. So this isn't the future, this is 2010 coming from the timestamps of the form so far that I'm seeing. Huh. Okay, so this is a world line where the Soviet Union is still alive, and they began experimenting with time machines, and America got mad. Okay. I'm digging into this. The story so far. The USSR starts experimenting with a time machine, and America goes apeshit. Give me that time machine, USSR. But I refuse! Down. Eastern powers and Soviets get cocky. How's it feel to be you right now, huh? How's it feel? This brings us to the end of your regularly scheduled Cold War. USA. I'ma bomb you from Japan, LOL. USSR. Then we'll invade Japan. US. Oh shit. Right now. USSR is kicking ass. Hokkaido and Northeast Japan are screwed. Are they coming for Central Japan now? People of Nagoya. GTFO. Captain Bajina. Amateurs who know nothing about strategy need to STFU. The STF may look like they're retreating, but they've actually got a defense line at Mount Fuji. They're about to start a counterattack. The Mount Fuji line, LMAO. Who the hell is dumb enough to believe Japanese Imperial High Command? ROFL? NSCJ. We better not start hearing calls for a kamikaze pilot soon. Captain Bajina. Shut up, noob. Idiots like you are the real threat to Japan. Wait, what the hell happened to the collective right of self-defense? America's only interested in protecting Okinawa. So what the hell's the SDF doing getting sent off to Siberia? How are they supposed to protect the country? You protect it, Chicken Hawk. You want to fight? Go volunteer. They say they aren't getting enough recruits. Are they going to start conscription soon, you think? Captain Bajina, what's the point of conscripting a bunch of fat otaku? They just get in the way. War these days requires professional soldiers, says the fat otaku who doesn't want to go to war. There are barely any professional soldiers left in Japan. Our masters in America sent them all around the globe, and then stuck them there. You guys will probably be getting your conscription notices soon. Good luck, I'm a chick, so I don't care. In other words, if we get a sex change, we don't have to go, right? Captain Bajina, the real enemies of Japan are its own citizens, huh, asshole? So seriously, are we going to be split up like Germany? NSCJ, it's likely. They say there's a provisional government forming in Okinawa. They're all set to abandon East Japan and have America protect the West. Those incompetents in the government might honestly do it. Captain Bajina, is it really the time to bash politicians? Traitor shill? Traitor, LOL, shill, LOL. Captain Vegeta, strategically, America can't let go of Okinawa, and Japan wants to keep some kind of government. That means that making provisional government in Okinawa is the best option. NSCJ, you bashed the hell out of Okinawa up until now, and now you're telling me this? Captain Vegeta, shut up, traitor. NSCJ, so if I'm a traitor, what are you? If you're posting on @channel right now, that means you've either fled the country or ran to Okinawa. Is today's you don't get to talk thread? Is this today's you don't get to talk thread? Huh. LOL. Did I really unlock a tip that says LOL? Did I get the tip that said LOL? Short for laugh out loud. By inserting LOL into the middle or at the end of the sentence, the speaker can convey that they find the situation humorous. On message boards, typing them out in succession, LOL allows users to strengthen the expression, or to indicate that they're mocking another user. For example, ha ha ha, LOL, sure, LOL. Variants include LMAO, laughing my ass off, or ROFL, rolling on the floor laughing. Alright. The reason it took a month to get to Okinawa was that we were losing the war. Supposedly, the plan had been to ferry me by plane to Okinawa once I'd arrived at Iruma base. But the constant bombing had slowed us down, so they gave up on the plane and decided I would escape to Kyushu by ground. There was more than one attack by Soviet spies and assault teams. Still kind of weirded out by the Soviet Union, being alive in this timeline, but I'm really into it. I'm really into, the story they're telling of this alternative world. I'm really into it. Some of the SDF soldiers protecting me died. But when I got to Sasebo, I was able to get on a maritime SDF escort ship and managed to escape to Okinawa. Why were they doing all this for me? No matter how many times I asked, no one would answer. Okinawa, in winter, was covered in thick clouds. Come to think of it, I hadn't seen a real break in the clouds for a whole month. I was thinking about that when I was loaded into a van with dark-tinted windows that had come to pick me up from the port. Inside the car was not only the driver, but a middle-aged man sitting in the front passenger seat. He was very short, perhaps only around 150 centimeters tall. But he had the air of a military veteran, and even though he was fully dressed, I could tell he was extremely muscular.
Okabe Rintaro君だな。私は防衛省中央情報保全隊の下山という。
I recognize that voice. I don't remember... Yeah, I recognize that voice, but I don't know where from. Ministry of Defense. One of the central ministries of Japan. It manages and operates the self-defense forces. In 2007, it changed its name from the Defense Agency to the Ministry of Defense. Alright.
これから空港に寄り道してから、カデナの沖縄防衛局へ向かう。長旅で疲れているところ申し訳ないが、もうしばらく我慢してくれ。
Okinawa Defense Bureau. One of the 8 local defense bureaus of Japan. It is the center of Japan's Ministry of Defense in Okinawa.
はい。
Whoa! Whoa! Wow! Wow! I have to say, they're doing really well with the war backgrounds in this game. With all the backgrounds showing the war scenes, they're doing a great job in just, drawing them. Holy crap. I'd heard that Tokyo had been destroyed. The major functions of the Japanese government were now headquartered out of the Okinawa Defense Bureau to allow for better cooperation with the American forces stationed nearby. That's what Shimoyama explained to me. In other words, the place I was heading to was the core of Japan's defenses. Once I arrived, would I understand why I was so important that all those soldiers were willing to die to protect me? The car stopped in front of Naha Airport for a while. Naha Airport. An airport in Naha, Okinawa. It is the hub airport of the Okinawa area. The airport is also home to the Air Self-Defense Forces Naha Air Base. As of 2009, it was the 6th busiest airport in Japan, as measured by number of arriving travelers. Naha Airport. And then, I saw a surprising pair get aboard. Whoa!
Okabe-san!
Fubuki... Is that Fubuki and Yuki? Yeah, I think that's Fubuki and Yuki.
本当だ！オカリンさんだ！
君たちはユキさんと中瀬さんじゃないか。
I wasn't expecting to see them there, but they were the first people I knew who I'd met since coming to this world line. That alone was almost enough to make me cry. But still, I couldn't just sit there and be happy.
マユリの行方を知らないか。
大丈夫です。
Yuki nodded, as if trying to make me feel better.
さっきまで一緒だったんです。
一緒だった。
そうなんですよ。マユシーでしょ、ルミホちゃんでしょ、ルカ君、楓ちゃん。今朝空港に着いて、みんな防衛局というところで保護してもらえるというので待っていたんですが、さっき急に私と吹雪ちゃんだけ先に連れて行くと言われて、それでこの車に乗せられたらオカリンさんがいたってわけ。
とにかくみんなが無事でよかった。
Since Daru and Suzuha weren't mentioned, I was going to ask about them, but...
すまないが、積もる話は後にしてもらっていいだろうか。
Shimoyama cut me off, and the car started moving.
沖縄防衛局には君たちのご家族もいずれ到着する予定だ。すでに我々の方で保護はしている。
本当ですか？よかった。
別行動になったお友達の皆さんもすぐ後ろの車に乗っている。離れ離れになるわけではないから安心していい。
I took a quick look and saw another identical van a little behind us. So Mary and the others were there?
じゃあ、後でまた会えるんですね。
もちろんだ。
I'm really intrigued to see where the plot of this world line's going. I have no clue what's going on here, so... I'm really, really looking forward to where, the storyline's going, because this definitely was not in the anime. This was definitely not in the anime, so this is really interesting. I'm liking this. I'm really liking this. Yuki let out a sigh of relief. But then I start to wonder about something else. Why were we split into different cars? This van could hold at least another 3 people. If we squeeze tight, it could easily hold everyone. Or was there some reason they'd put me, Yuki, and Fubuki into the same car? Oh. The car drove alongside the Okinawa monorail rail for a while, and then went south down by a wide bypass. I'm gonna repeat that line, I'm sorry. Monorail messed me up for a second. The car drove alongside the Okinawa monorail for a while, and then went south down by a wide bypass. What is the Okinawa monorail? The only railway operating in Okinawa as of 2011. It runs approximately 13 kilometers between Naha Airport and Shuri Castle, with a 30-minute transit time and 15 stations along the way. Okinawa monorail.
暗いな。
何です？
いや、こんなに店が並んでるのにどこも真っ暗だから。
There were lots of franchise restaurants, big supermarkets, cafeterias for tourists, and rent-a-car places all jammed together along the side of the road. But all of them were dead silent, and their lights were turned off. Barely any of the street lights were turned on, and the only cars were Japanese and US military vehicles. I didn't see anyone out walking.
10日間制と午後5時以降の外出禁止令が出ているんだ。沖縄なら安全とは言ってもね、戦時下なんだよ。以前のようにはいかない。早く戦争など終わって元に戻ってほしいものだ。
Wartime? Huh.
なあ、岡部君。君の知っている沖縄は夜遅くまでもっと明るくて楽しい場所だったろ？
Wait! Do they know Okabe's from another timeline? Do they know Okabe's from another timeline?
どうでしょう。俺は沖縄は初めてなので。
Huh, hold on. Or maybe I got that totally wrong.
それはもったいないな。なら次は楽しい旅行で来られることを祈っているよ。ここは本当にいい島だ。
Huh. The car headed up from the bypass over a land bridge, and then to another road. We quickly came to a long tunnel.
実は3人に防衛局に着く前に少しだけ質問をしたくてな。それでこうして同乗してもらった。
Here we go. My guess was right. That meant there was something he wanted to ask just the three of us. But why us three? I wasn't particularly close to Yuki or Fubuki. I'd only even started talking to them a few months ago. And then I shook my head. That was before the world line changed. Wait a second. I think I have a theory. Coming from what Fubuki was saying in a previous chapter of an alternative world line, she had memories of Mayuri dying. Oh my god, wait a second. Are these the people who have reading Steiner? Oh my god, I think they put together the three people who have reading Steiner. Okabe, Fubuki, and apparently Yuki. Maybe things were different in this world line. I had no idea what my relationship was to anyone else in this world line. Since the SDF had been treating me so well, I didn't want to make Shimoyama suspicious. I decided it would be best to leave most of the talking to Yuki and Fubuki.
Amane Yuki-san.
はい。
Shimoyama spoke to Yuki first. Yuki went stiff when her name was called. I could feel it, even sitting next to her.
君は橋田至君とその妹さんがどこにいるか知らないだろうか。
Who? Little sister. That must be Suzuha. That would mean that even in this world line, Suzuha had come from the future, and gotten to know Yuki and the others while pretending to be Daru's sister. And the SDF evidently didn't know where Daru and Suzuha were.
いえ、私は。
Yuki fell silent and glanced over to me as if expecting help. But I didn't know where they were, either. I didn't even have any memories of this world line, so I had no way of answering. But Yuki's attitude bothered me. It was as if she knew where they were, and was deliberately hiding it, and that I was supposed to be hiding it too. I could figure that out. I'm sure Shimoyama could too. A strange tension filled the car. Yuki was trying to hide it? From whom?
知らないかな?
Shimoyama turned around from the front passenger seat and asked again.
すみません。
Yuki bowed her head in apology.
でも君は橋田君とかなり親しいお付き合いをしているんだよね。恋人に何の連絡もないというのは。
携帯電話なん もう使い物になってないじゃないですか。
連絡方法なら携帯以外にもいくらでもある。
でも本当に何も。
妹さんからも？
はい。
時に岡部君は橋田君と何か研究をしていたらしいね。
Time travel! I wasn't sure how to react when the conversation suddenly turned toward me. Researching? Researching what? Oh, no. If I panic, I'll make them suspicious.
どんな研究をしていたんだね？
I would just have to give him the most harmless answers I could.
研究というより、なんていうか、ちょっとした発明のアイデアというか。
発明？
竹とんぼに CCD カメラをつけて空撮ができないかとか。
CCD camera. CCD, charge coupled device camera, is a camera that uses semiconductors. In normal parlance, the term refers to any extremely small camera. CCD camera.
掃除機の排気をドライヤー代わりにしてみるとか。
ほう、なかなか面白いね。それじゃ何かとんでもないものを作っていて、それを知られないために我々から逃げたというわけではないんだね。
逃げた？
Damn! I responded. That was a mistake. But did that mean that Daru and Suzuha were hiding from the SDF amidst all this chaos? The SDF had risked their lives to protect me over the past month. Shouldn't I be asking them for help? I got even more confused.
知らないのならいいんだ。橋田君たちのことは保留にしておこう。
Somebody, please tell me what the right answer is. How am I supposed to respond here?
中瀬克美さん、君には別に聞きたいことがあるんだ。
Oh, so that's Fubuki's real name. Nakase Katsumi. I think they said that earlier in the game, but I forgot it.
私？
This time, it was Fubuki's turn to jump up in her seat.
いやいや、そんなに緊張しなくていい。大したことじゃない。
Or so Shimoyama said, but Fubuki was clearly starting to get scared. Her reaction was strange. It was too strong. Maybe the self-defense forces weren't simply protecting us. For one thing, there was no way normal civilians like us merited such important treatment. But then, what were they after? No, I could guess. The time machine. This war started with Russia's time machine experiments. And of course, Nakabashi was involved. I learned from some of the soldiers that even in this world line, he'd sought asylum in Russia. And Suzuha was a time traveler from the year 2036. If Suzuha was here in this era, that meant that it was Daru who made the time machine that brought her here. If you had a time machine, you could change the outcome of this war. It would make sense if that's what the Japanese government thought, and if that was why they were trying to capture Daru, Suzuha, and their friends. Once I realized that, the whole situation started to feel terrifying to me. Was this car really headed towards the Okinawa Defense Bureau? And if it was, were they really going to keep us safe there?
先週、中瀬さんに受けてもらった健康診断なんだが。
何か悪いところでも見つかったんですか？
いや、東京で怪我をした傷も治りかけているし、体調には問題はない。ただ、ストレスがひどいようだね。まあ無理もない。あれだけひどい空襲をくぐり抜けてきたんだ。今やほとんどの民間人に PTSD があると言ってもいい。ただ君の場合、他の人とは少し違うようだ。随分とリアルな夢を見たりするとか。
Yeah, freaking Steiner!
ひどい時には白チュームというのかな。現実と夢の区別がつかなくなることもあると聞いた。
So we're exploring more of Fubuki's dreams. Oh shit!
だからそれが PTSD ってことじゃないんですか？
Fubuki was too scared to speak, so Yuki interrupted curtly. It was rare to see Yuki act like this. If nothing else, I'd never seen it before. It was plain now. Yuki didn't trust Shimoyama. In fact, she considered him an enemy.
いや、それが実に奇妙な話なんだが。
Shimoyama paused. Shimoyama paused a moment for effect, and rubbed his chin.
中瀬さんと非常によく似た白チュームを見る人たちがいる。しかも一人や二人じゃない。もちろん程度の差はあるが、国内だけでもすでに十数名ほど見つかっている。どうやら海外にもいるようだ。まあ西側諸国の情報しかないがね。
そんなのただの偶然じゃ。
Fubuki was incredibly frightened, so I spoke in her place.
プーシンを知っているだろ？
Pushin. What is Pushin? No way! No way! Oh, no way! Fiction. No way! Are they actually? Oh my god. Puchin. Fictional. Vladimir Vladimirovic Puchin. From 2000 to 2008, he was the second president of Russia. After 2008, he became his prime minister, a former KGB agent. Oh, oh my gosh. Suddenly, Shimoyama turned his gaze toward me and asked me a question.
プーシン、ソ連の書記長ですよね。
I almost said the president of Russia, but managed to stop myself. The Soviet Union still existed in this world line. Puchin's title was General Secretary, not President. I learned that during my time at Iruma. This is slightly weird to read, but oh my gosh. You know, I like being thrown into situations without any context, but just maybe there should be a little bit of context behind what the hell is happening here. Oh my god. Like being thrown into the world where the Soviet Union is still, you know, active is like, this just makes for a very interesting read, and at the same time, I'm just flat out confused. Like, what happened in this timeline? What happened in this timeline? I want the context. I really want to know the context, but throwing us in, like, Okabe all confused, that's an amazing idea. Like, that is just an amazing concept. Throwing us into an alternative world line, like Okabe, where we don't know what's going on at all. I find that to be really cool, but at the same time, I wish there was more context that we're getting here. Oh my god. I'm gonna reread that line because I was giggling too much, but holy shit. The Soviet Union still existed in this world line. Puchin's title was General Secretary, not President. I'd heard that during my time at Iruma.
そう。だが、中瀬さんは興味深いことに、プーシンがロシアの大統領だと答えたとか。
What?
すみません。なんか寝ぼけてたんです。それに私、勉強とか全然ダメで。
いや、そうじゃない。白チュームを見る人たちの特徴の一つなんだ。皆一様にそう口にする。プーシン大統領とね。
President Putin.
ゴリバチョフやリリツィンのことも大統領と呼ぶものばかりだ。
Gorbachev, Leshin. Oh my god. Boris Nikolaevich Leshin, a former USSR politician. After the fall of the Soviet Union, he became the first president of the Russian Federation, as well as its prime minister. Died in 2007. Leshin, Gorbachev, Mikhail Sergeyevich Gorbachev. By the way, I am really sorry for mispronouncing things in this episode. I do feel really bad. Sorry if I mispronounce anything in this video. General Secretary of the Soviet Communist Party, the last leader of the USSR. He executed the Perestroika plan and brought the Cold War to an end. Gorbachev. Oh my god.
そのおかげで研究者たちは陰で大統領病とか呼んでるそうだが、センスのないネーミングだな。
No way. Is he talking about reading Steiner? There was a strong chance that people besides me had that power, even if not as acutely. I never found out for sure, but what Ferris had said in Alpha Worldline certainly suggested it. So it was certainly possible that Shimoyama's waking dreams were actually the effects of reading Steiner. If they were all aware of the Worldline shift a month ago, just like me. If Fubuki had the same memories of the other Worldline that I had, it would make perfect sense that she called Puccina president.
ゴリバチョフ、レリチン。
知らないのかね？世界史の授業でやっただろ。
私、高校時代からずっと理系だったもので。
常識だと思っていたが、今の若い子は知らないのか。最近の学生がここまで不勉強とはね。岡部君は知っているだろう。ゴリバチョフやレリツィンくらい。
まあ。
ベルリンの壁の崩壊やペレストロイカも。
Perestroika and the Berlin Wall. Perestroika, Russian for restructuring, a policy of economic revolution via the introduction of market-oriented. Oh my god, I'm gonna restart from the beginning. Russian for restructuring. Russian for restructuring. Perestroika. I'm sorry. A policy of economic revolution via the introduction of market-oriented economics that was implemented in 1985 by the Soviet Union. Originally, it was an attempt to reboot a stalled socialist economy, but it led to the end of the Communist Party's one-party dominance and the collapse of the USSR. Perestroika. Berlin Wall. After World War II, the capital of Germany, Berlin, was divided into two sides. The eastern side was controlled by the Soviet Union, and the western side by America, England, and France. Later, Germany was split into West Germany and East Germany. The portion of Berlin in East Germany remained its capital, but West Berlin remained occupied by the Allied powers while being cut off from the rest of West Germany, which lay approximately 100 miles to the west. In 1961, East Germany built a wall around the city in response to continuing attempts by its citizens to seek asylum in West Berlin. This was the Berlin Wall. Until its destruction in 1989, it was a symbol of the divide between East and West Germany. Additionally, West Berlin was never officially West German territory. They simply operated as a stand-in for foreign affairs and currency administration. Berlin Wall and Perestroika.
はい。それも教科書で。
The second after the words were out of my mouth, an alarm went off in my mind. Something was wrong. There was something strange about what Shimoyama was saying. And then I realized. The East and West were caught up in the middle of a world war. How could the Berlin Wall have fallen? And could Gorbachev really execute perestroika? By the time I realized he tricked me, it was too late. My panic appeared on my face.
君もそうだったのか。
Oh shit!
そしてそれを恋に隠そうとしたね。
Oh shit, Shimoyama caught on to you.
やはり情報通りなんだな。君は何か重大なことを知っている。なあ、岡部君、教えてほしいんだが。
Shimoyama suddenly laughed. It was a bitter, almost eerily so. It was a bitter laugh, almost eerily so.
ゴリバチョフ？レリツィン？君たちが口にするそれは一体誰なんだ？
Shit!
我々はもちろんアメリカのあらゆる情報機関にもそんな人物のデータは存在しないんだ。
Lessine and Gorbachev. Oh shit! Do they not exist in this world line? Doesn't exist? I looked over at Yuki. From the look on her face, I could tell that she really had no idea who they were.
ペレストロイカだの、ベルリンの壁崩壊だの、それは本当にあったことなのか。
Oh!
答えてくれ。
But I couldn't answer. I was thinking of something completely different. I suddenly realized why the world line might have changed a month ago on Christmas Eve. What if Russia used a time machine that day in an experiment to change the past? The goal of the experiment would have been to stop the collapse of the Soviet Union. And if the result of their changing the past was this world line, and if the result of changing the past was this world line, how foolish! A single change to the past and the butterfly effect makes the entire world so different. Butterfly effect. What is that? Butterfly effect. A part of the chaos theory that says if a butterfly flaps its wings in Beijing, a storm will occur in New York. Even a small change in starting conditions can lead to radically different results. Chaos theory states that it can be difficult to predict the outcomes of a system even if the equations describing it are extremely simple. But this does not mean, however, that these outcomes are random. It means that even a minor change in the process can cause an unexpected divergence in the results. Also, this theory does not apply to short-term predictions. Butterfly effect. Shit, I'm really loving the storyline. I'm really loving it. Did they know how many people had died?
君や君の友達には本当に他の世界の歴史が見えているのか？
Oh shit.
私にはとても信じられない。頭のおかしい学者どものたわごとにしか。
He was about to push me further when we heard the sound of an incoming call on a cell phone. Oh, we heard the sound of an incoming call. Shimoyama grunted and took his phone out of his pocket.
下山だ。ああ、今防衛局へ。何？どういうことだ、それは。くそ、これだからバカどもは。あいつらどこの国の政治家だ。
Shimoyama's fingers slammed down on the end call button so hard I thought the phone would break. There was a look of rage on his face.
行き先変更だ。カデナ基地へ向かえ。第2ゲートだ。
Kadena Base. Kadena Air Base, an American Air Force base in Japan. It has twice the area of Tokyo International Airport. His words were filled with irritation as he spoke to the driver. Changing destinations? Who was he just talking to? As I sat there confused, Shimoyama started to call someone else.
下山だ。行き先を変更する。カデナ基地の第2ゲート前で落ち合う。
That was all he said before he hung up.
どういうことですか？
状況が変わった。これから岡部君は米軍基地に行ってもらう。 そのまま米軍機でアメリカへ行き、なんていう楽しい旅行が待っているかもしれんな。
America?
せめてファーストクラスを準備するよう要求しておくが、期待はしないでほしい。あいつらは我々の言うことなど、飼い犬の吠え声としか思ってない。
なんでアメリカに？
CIA か NSC か知らんが、君の即時引き渡しを求めているそうだ。
NSC. The American National Security Council, an organization that works directly for the White House and advises the president on national security matters. It consists of the president, the vice president, the secretary of state, the secretary of the treasury, and the secretary of defense. NSC. This is going to be very embarrassing for me to say, but I didn't know that this was a council. I didn't know that this was a thing. Yeah, I didn't know that this was a thing. Oops. and I'm from America. I didn't even know that this was a thing. Oh my god. Oh man, I didn't even know that was a thing.
だからなぜ？
そんなことはあいつらに直接聞け。
And then he turned back towards the front and fell silent, refusing to answer any of my questions. The car went down the road for a while, until we got off at an exit that read South Okinawa. Damn. We stopped in front of the gate. Several US soldiers have evidently been waiting for my arrival.
君をアメリカに渡したら、もう我々のところには正しい情報なんて一つも降りてこなくなるだろう。だから、これが最後の機会だ。
Shimoyama turned around from the front passenger seat and looked straight at me. His eyes were desperate and begging.
教えてくれ。我々はこの先、どうすればいいんだ。頼む。
I remembered all the soldiers in Tokyo who'd fought so desperately to protect me. Were they fighting to help someone else in Tokyo right now? Or were they already...
俺にはわかりません。
岡部君。
本当にわからないんです。俺一人の力でこの戦争をどうにかできると思いますか？ゴリバチョフやレリツィンがロシアの大統領になるとか、東西冷戦を劇的に終結させるとか、そんな歴史を知っていたところでどうにもならない。
I could hear the sound of another car getting closer. Shimoyama's side had opened the passenger side door.
降りたまえ。
I exited the car, as I was told. Aww! Hey, Mary! Mary got out of the van behind us and ran over to me.
Mayuri!
Aww. This is adorable. This is adorable. My childhood friend flung herself into my arms, and I held her tight.
やっと会えたよ。
よかった。無事で。
I could feel her warmth. Mary was here. I'd never gone almost a whole month without seeing her before. And this was wartime. I couldn't easily contact her like I could in the old war line. So I'd been so worried about whether or not Mayuri was okay. It was no exaggeration to say that I had survived this far just to make sure. I had erased the entire Alpha World line to save her. No matter what happened, I wanted her to be safe.
おかり、苦しいよ。
悪い。
You know, the anime really missed out by not adapting this part. They really missed out by not adapting this part. I'm gonna be honest here. They really missed out by not adapting this part of the game. Holy crap. All this is new content to me, by the way. I didn't know any of this content was there until I started playing this round. Holy shit. Oh my god, I'm really loving this. I'm really loving this part of the game for some reason. I'm really enjoying it. I'd held her too closely. I took a step back.
マユシーね、信じてたよ。オカリンと絶対また会えるって信じてた。
ああ。
よかった。無事だったかにゃ。
Ferris!
岡部さん
Luca! I heard two more voices I recognized. Ferris and Luca. And behind them, I saw Kaede. Wow. Everyone's... Whoa, wait, Ferris's hair is down! Ferris's hair is down! What the... This is curse! This is a cursed Ferris! This is a cursed Ferris, her hair's down! Oh my god. Well, I think there was, the Ferris round in the original Steins game where we saw her hair down, and I was surprised then, but seeing her hair down now, holy crap. Holy crap.
みんなもよく無事で。
岡部さん、僕。
ルカ子。
I felt myself getting choked up, too, when I saw Lukako cry. I exchanged greetings with Kaede, too. Fubuki grabbed onto her like a little kid. She was still pale and trembling.
フェリス。さすがにメイド服じゃないんだな。
フェイリスって呼ばれたのも久しぶりにゃ。
Ferris spoke sadly. Then she put her hand around my neck and held me close. Her little pink lips got close to my ear, as if she was about to kiss me.
おい。
What's going on?
にゃはは、照れることないにゃ。
She laughed mischievously. Then Ferris, no, Akia Rumiho, whispered into my ear while pretending to kiss me.
気をつけて。防衛省の人も米軍の人も信用してはダメ。大人は嘘だらけ。みんな本当のこと言わないわ。
That's right. Ferris had a special talent. Cheshire Break. Cheshire Cat. A fictional grinning cat in Lewis Carroll's Alice in Wonderland. Cheshire Break. She was incredibly good at looking into someone's heart and seeing what they were thinking.
ああ。思い知ったよ。
One of them just tricked me. Ferris looked surprised and took a step back.
悲しいにゃ。
Did she figure out that Okabe got tricked?
そうだな。
Oh. And then, I heard the sound of another engine. This time, it was coming from beyond the gate, and inside the base. It belonged to a black luxury car, with an E on the license plate. Behind it was a minibus. Behind it was a minibus, yeah. The two of them stopped in front of the gate. It was time for my reunion to end.
Welcome!
An American soldier, as tall as a basketball player, got out of the car.
ようこそ皆さん、私ハモンドです。歓迎します。
His Japanese was good, but not great.
では、ミスター岡部以外の皆さんは バスに乗ってください。
He was smiling, but I could tell he wasn't going to allow any arguments. And the other American soldiers were still carrying their rifles, as they stood guard without smiles. Shimoyama and the other Japanese soldiers were watching us from a distance. They didn't try to stop us. They were just looking downward.
オカリ以外ってどういうこと？
怖がらなくていいです。皆さんには少し話を聞かせてもらいます。でも後ですぐに沖縄防衛局へ送ります。さあ、どうぞ。
オカリ。
大丈夫だ。安心しろ。
でも。
ユキさん、参りを頼みます。
はい。
I thought she was gonna say okie dokie. Yuki nodded and put her arm around Mayuri's shoulder as she led her to the bus. Everyone else followed.
オカリ。
俺の両親によろしく言っておいてくれ。
Once everyone but me was on, the minibus left immediately. The area in front of the gate fell silent. It was hard to believe that this existed in the same world as all the places I'd crossed on my escape through Japan's main island.
さて、それではミスター岡部、あなたはどうぞこちらの車へ。
He told me to get in the back seat of the black luxury car. What would happen to me once I got inside? I tried to think about it, but realized there was nothing I could do. I was just about to get into the car when...
岡部君逃げろ。アメリカへ行ったらもう生きて戻れ。
What? What the fuck? Shimoyama's scream was cut off by the sound of gunfire. In the corner of my eye, I saw the American soldiers firing without hesitation. No way. I tried to turn around when...
乗って。
A large hand blocked my vision as Hammond held me down. I couldn't hear Shimoyama's voice anymore. Through the gaps between his fingers, I could see that something was moving, and I knew exactly what that meant. I was shoved into the car before I had time to think about it.
こんなの。
I tried to open my mouth, but Hammond looked into my eyes and shook his head. I wasn't supposed to talk then. Hammond sat next to me, then closed the door. The car started to move. Soon, we turned down a different road than the one the minibus was taking. America, huh? I'd never been there before. What were they going to do to me there? Use me as a guinea pig? Cut open my head and dissect my brain? I probably wasn't going to be able to do any tourist things. I felt like screaming, but tried my best to stay calm.
あなたに会わせたい人がいます。
Hammond suddenly spoke. Then he handed me something. I took it before I even looked at what it was. When I checked, it was a normal smartphone. Amadeus?
ロックはかかっていません。そこのボタンを押して。
It's Amadeus, isn't it? Confused, I pressed the button as I was told. And then something appeared on the screen. Amadeus! 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 It's Amadeus! Yes! It's Amadeus! It's Amadeus!
クリス。
It was the Amadeus Makse Kursu.
なんで米軍がアマデウスを。
I was about to ask Hammond when, for the first time in about a month, that feeling came back. Is he about to have another reading Steiner moment? He's about to have another reading Steiner moment. Oh my god. Oh my god! So, Amadeus is the key of reading Steiner. Oh god, I messed up my throat. Oh my god, and we're back to the lab. Oh my god. Oh my god, that was quite the chapter. This part was just really fun to read. I'm just gonna say this now. This part was really fun to read. And I have a lot of hope for Pandora's Box as a chapter. I have a lot of hope for this chapter. And the path towards Gehenna Stigma. The Luskanen ending. Oh my god, I'm so fucking excited for the Luskanen ending. Like, okay, I'm gonna be honest here. The storyline of this path, I like it a lot more than the other path. Like, the other path, it was good. The story was good. But the story of this path is very interesting. It's very interesting in general. And I cannot wait to read more of it. And I think we're gonna get some more, things about Fubuki, because Fubuki might have reading Steiner herself. I'm really intrigued to see more Fubuki, honestly. I think the anime did not do Fubuki justice, so I'm really glad they were exploring more into Fubuki in this game. X-Day Protocol and Pandora's Box are becoming some of my favorite chapters behind Promise Reassignmento. Promise Reassignmento, #1 chapter so far, but X-Day Protocol and Pandora's Box, they're really interesting. They're really interesting. And yes, I kind of like the whole, conspiracy, science fiction element of everyone going after the time machine. That's actually another part that I really enjoy as well. Just the whole conspiracy stuff going on about the time machine and everyone's trying to fight the time machine. Just seeing a little bit of that part of the story is actually really interesting. The original Steins game is a masterpiece, and this game is not as much of a masterpiece, but it's still a really enjoyable read. Steins Gate Zero is still an enjoyable read. Like, it's not a masterpiece, but it's still really fun.
Okay.